Unfortunately, you probably need a manager inside of your business. Hi, my name is Matt Coach. I created this YouTube channel to share the tips, tricks, and mistakes on my way to building a figure real estate portfolio. And in the ideal business, you would have zero management. Everyone would know exactly what they have to do. They would perform it, and no one would have to tell them anything. But that's not very realistic. So, somebody who does something and somebody who manages are different people that come through. And that can be something when you're like a solo entrepreneur where you're doing both, you're doing things and managing that you don't necessarily comprehend for other people, that other people need a manager or that somebody is a manager and they need to be on top of other people. So those are different positions inside your business. Now, I think most people probably know that they have managers, but if you do things, you might think that your manager is pretty useless. You probably have all had pretty useless managers throughout the course of working for whatever business you have. But their purpose is to make sure you're doing your job, which shouldn't have to be really a thing, right? You should probably just do your job. But if you didn't have a manager checking in, making sure you're doing all the small little details or whatever, keeping track of all the notes and things like that they need you to keep track of in your daily tabs for things. If that wasn't there, you probably just wouldn't do it. And just because you don't see the viability of something doesn't mean that there isn't a purpose to it in the holistic sense of the business. So a manager's job is making sure that each individual person is doing the thing that moves the business along. And even though to each individual, they might not see that manager as somebody who's progressing the business in any way, and they maybe aren't. The ideal business, you have about the least amount of managers as possible, because over-management isn't good. But you do need to have somebody who's making sure that the things that are supposed to be getting done are getting done. And when there are flaws or there are things that are holes inside the business, that they're the ones finding them and making sure that those people can fill those holes and that those positions get filled. So understand that businesses do need some level of management. People don't just know what to do all of the time. And that can be a pretty difficult thing when you're an entrepreneur and you're kind of in that mode of like, well, I just figure out the next thing to do and I kind of just go about that. Most people aren't like that. If you can't give them the structure to know what things they should be doing, then you can't really judge how successful they are at their job. So that's what a manager's supposed to be doing.